Once Human is an open world free-to-play survival shooter game that I would say is an MMORPG. It's not your traditional MMORPG, but the more and more I play this game, it feels more like an MMORPG. It has the open world aspect, has the social aspect of an MMORPG. We can meet people in the open world, join guilds, which are called war bands, gear progression, dungeons, PvP, crafting. Everything feels more and more like an MMORPG. But I put 50 hours plus into this beta. Right now there is an ongoing beta, and if you want to check out this beta, I'll be posting codes throughout the whole video. So if you haven't gotten access to it, you can check out the game with the codes I would post throughout this video. But let's jump into the video, let you guys know everything you need to know about Once Human and if it is worth playing or not. So starting off into Once Human, you will have the option to build your character. So you will choose between male and female gender, and you can customize your character with a bunch of customization options, from how your body type, hair, all that customization. And then when you get into the game and you start playing, you will notice that this game has gear progression. So let's say I'm using I have a chest piece that I get. If I get the chest piece will actually show on my character. Same goes for like pants. Let's say I take off these pants right here, I will lose my pants. So this game has gear progression, but not only that, this game also has cosmetics included. So you can either let your character show off the gear that they're using, or you can use the cosmetics option. Right now there's cool masks on, but you can get like different kind of cosmetics, really cool cosmetics, or for that you can get through events or through the costume shop. But basically you have a lot of options to basically customize your character, because that's really important, especially since I was talking about in an MMORPG, customizing your character, being able to role play like you want to is a huge thing. So this game has all of that stuff. So you don't have to worry about appearance and customization, because they have a bunch both for gear and appearance. When you start off in this game, you start off in this world. Now in the beta, certain parts of the world were kind of closed off, but I don't think that'll be for launch. But you will start off in this world and you will level up. You will explore the massive world, because the world is big. There's several different ways to explore the world. You have this little crow that will help you fly around depending on your stamina. You will have massive places to explore and meet other players in the open world. And when you meet other players, you can talk to them through voice chat. This game has its own built-in voice chat. Yo.
Able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up, man? You got a pool? Jacuzzi?
No.
No jacuzzi?
I have nothing.
Do you have a little bit of clean water for me? I need some clean water.
Yes.
Please give me some clean water, please, man. I'm dying of thirst, man, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god, thank you, bro. Oh, damn. Oh, is you rich? Hands up, this is a robbery. Give me everything. I'm joking.
Nah.
You can join them, and then basically what you will be doing in the start of the game, if you can see these green icons, these are basically rifts, and each of these places you will go and you activate a rift, and then when you click on the settlement, you will see that each of these has a different objective. So certain areas you will have to go and defeat different monsters, explore different chests. Each area like this has something called a mythical chest. And not only a mythical chest, if you look on this one I haven't completed on purpose, I can show you guys. So this place, you get the rift, you activate it, and then each area has this. So you will find a mystical crate inside the area. They will defeat the elite enemy, defeat normal enemies, find up in a crate. So each place has an objective they have to do. And when it's done, you get like this check right here. So you will be doing this, and certain chests, such as weapon crate chests, reset. So you will have to do them every day if you want to get the best gear. Now doing this exploration, you can meet people randomly doing them. You can build up with your own friends, your own guild, or your own teammates to go and explore them together to make it a little bit easier, because you have to fight monsters, you have to find elite enemies, and the more you loot these chests, the better gear you get, of course, and the better crafting materials you get, so you can progress in this game. But exploration is super important in this game, and one of the main things that you will be doing throughout your day. And what is really cool about the leveling process in this game is when you're leveling in this game, you don't only level through fighting enemies, doing dungeons, defeating enemies. You can actually level through crafting. So if you just go around and you just use, if that's what you like doing, you can basically craft items. You can go out in the world, mine, fish. I got a little bit of XP right there. You can see on the left side. But basically what you're doing in the open world, if you're mining, if you're getting ore, if you're wood cutting, if you're crafting in your base, you'll be getting EXP from that. So that is really cool about the game, that it will actually reward you for doing absolutely everything. And leveling in this game is super important. And why it's important is, let's look at the first thing, which is the memetics, sorry. The memetics basically, probably saying it wrong, helps you with crafting in this game. So with these memetic points that you get by leveling up and other things, you can use these points to invest into different things, which will unlock different things for you. So let's say the best, easiest way to explain this is, let's look at the crafting. Once you level up, you can invest more points into getting, for example, machine guns, rocket launchers, flamethrowers, advanced gear, which will make you, get the better gear, ammunition, advanced ammunition. So all of these items you can get by unlocking by leveling up. So that's why it's very important leveling up. Not only that, you will get Cradle, which is basically a passive bonus, which will help you do more damage. And the biggest thing is when it comes to gear, because right now when you level up, you can see that my weapon right here is a tier 4 weapon. So if you go to your home and you go to your crafting bench, you will see that the more you level up, the better gear you can craft. Now in this game, it runs the normal rarity of weapons and gear. We start with normal green, blue rare, then epic, right? But getting the epic, when you're traveling the world exploring, you will start getting blueprints for these weapons. And as you can see here on the right side, you will start getting higher tier items. This is the most important part, because a blue item, tier 4 blue item, would perform better than an epic tier 3 item. That's why it's so important leveling up in this game, because you can unlock these tiers, and when you get the higher tiers, you can get better bonuses. So that's why you kind of want to be focusing on leveling up. Right now in this game, the max level is 50. But since we're already talking about gearing, let me explain how gearing works. So you have three weapons. You have two weapons that you can, your main weapons that you shoot with, and you have a melee weapon. And these weapons you can craft and get higher tier weapons. And then later on, if you get more of this weapon, you can, let's say you have this Glock right here. Let me show you guys. Let's say I have a Scar, right? If I get more Scar blueprints, I can level up the stars, which will make the weapon stronger. And then I'll have to craft, let's say I level up and I get tier 5, I'll have to craft a new Scar at tier 5. That would be the best way to level up. And then you can do calibration, which is basically leveling up. After getting tier 4, you can calibrate your weapons to make them strong. It's basically like enhancing. In most MMOs or MMORPGs, it'll be like enchanting your weapons to make them a little bit stronger. So they can be tier 4, but stronger within that rank. And the same thing you do for armor, and that's basically how you will level up. And you would need to do this because in certain areas, the monster will be that strong. So it's not like you can be like, hey, then I could just go on and level to 50 immediately and forget all the other things. No, because to enter certain areas, when you start entering, like let's say right now I'm level 37, and if I want to go to a spot which has level, for example, this place that has level 48 enemies, you will start getting this debuff. If you look at my HP bar there, you see a little bit of blue, which is a sanity. So if your gear can't keep up, you'll get a lot of sanity, which will decrease your HP and you will take more damage. That's why you always want to do everything. You can't just focus on fully leveling up. You also have to focus on gearing up your weapons, your armor, so you can defeat monsters and make sure that you level up the fastest way. So all this is good. And then later on, you can put mods on your weapons, which is basically these things, which is basically a buffs for your gear. So this one, if I have a tier 4 weapon, which I have, this if I put on this mod, it will give me all these different bonuses. Same goes for your armor. So there is a lot, of course, and you can start putting like different attachments to your weapons too, like suppressor, scopes, all these different items. And then this is a good example when I talked about blueprint earlier. Right now I can get this blueprint. I got this blueprint and I can fuse it to actually be able to craft it. So now I can actually craft this weapon, this SMG, in my bench. So getting these blueprints you'll get by just exploring the world, doing dungeons, all that different content in the world. Basically here you have team, hive, and warband. So a team is a 4-player team. You can team up with 4 players and do different dungeons. The dungeons are basically these massive monoliths. I call them dungeons because it's easier for you guys to understand, but monoliths are basically massive boss fights that you can do and team up with 4 players. And then you have your hive, which is basically an 8-player hive, which you can team up with friends and you can go to each other's bases, take each other's loots, all that stuff. And then you have the warband, which are basically guilds, 30-player guilds that you can join. Now, the open world system in this game is awesome. I like that you can just meet people in the open world, chat to them, and the dungeons are really cool. I really enjoy doing dungeons in this game. The dungeons are very immersive, so the fights are awesome. Each boss has different type of mechanics to it. You can team up with players, or you can try to solo fight the bosses. I have solo fought all the bosses when I'm around the same level, and the boss fights are crazy difficult. And if not, you can team up with 4 people to challenge these different dungeons. Dungeons are super cool. They each have several difficulties to them. So when you level up and you get to max level, which is level 50, you can challenge the harder mode of these dungeons. And the dungeons will give you loot and better gear. So basically it's like an MMO. Like that's what endgame is going to be. It's going to be doing these dungeons, getting the best gear, getting the best loot, and progressing your character. Now the combat overall in this game is very straightforward. It's a 3rd-person shooter, right? So you can switch between your weapons like you want. You can also aim in like a 1st-person shooter. If you want to, you can use it as a 1st-person shooter, but mainly you will be using it playing as a 3rd-person shooter. Most of it, every enemy has a weak point, so you'll be attacking the weak points. You have dodge mechanics in this game, so you can dodge, you can crouch. So this game offers all those type of mechanics in the game, which is overall great. And all the weapons, I would say the weapons are really fun to use. I've been using all kind of weapons. I use the shotgun, I use the SMG. All the weapons do feel good, and each weapon you have to focus and see which kind of weapon you want to go with, because for example an SMG has crazy recoil, but you can add attachments to it to make it have less recoil. But at the end of the day, my favorite weapons at the start were shotgun, but now I really love and rock with the sniper. So since we're talking about combat, we gotta talk about PvP, because in this game you kind of expect some PvP, and there is PvP. Now I have to give you guys a warning. I'm in the PvE server, and unfortunately the PvE server, the PvP is almost non-existent, because the only way to PvP in a PvE server is I can hold P and I can get this entered madness state PvP. Now I'm in a PvP tag, so everybody else that is PvP tagged can see me and fight me and kill me. And but there's almost no people that PvP tag, unfortunately, in the PvE servers. And there's like, I think there's one event that happens where you can actually PvP people in certain areas. But again, PvP is non-existent in the PvE server. And when you die, I just lose durability on items. However, if you want to PvP and you enjoy PvP, what you want to do is you want to go to a PvP server, because in a PvP server, there's actual certain zones. So let me give you an example. I'm on a PvE server, but there'll be an event like this that spawns, and inside this whole area is going to be full PvP zone. Certain areas around the world are going to be completely PvP zones. In those zones, you can build, you can craft, but if you build inside the PvP zones, you can get raided by other players. And there's going to be events that happen all over the world that is going to be PvP tagged. And when you die in PvP areas, in the PvP servers, you will actually have a chance to lose items. You can lose your weapon, you can lose your gear. So you got to be careful when fighting inside these zones. But if you want PvP, don't go to a PvE server, okay? It's almost no, I regret going to a PvE server. Definitely go to a PvP server. And right now, I know the PvP is just happening inside certain zones, but eventually they're going to introduce like arena type PvP where you can fight 12v12 with your guild and warbands. So that's going to be a really good option when the game comes. Now, going forward, all other content in this game is that the game spawns over time events that you can participate in. So right now, I think I saw an event right here pop up. Yeah, this, for example, this is an event right here, cargo scuffle. So you pop up at the cargo, you fight for it, you can get this cargo. And then you have other dig to hell, for example. This is basically you go to this event, you find a bunch of waves of zombies, and you can get cool items. So there's events that pop up all the time. This, for example, Windward Point Frontier. You go here, you defend this place from waves of monsters by building around it and fighting the monster. So events pop up all the time. So there's a bunch of content to do overall in the game. Now we got to talk about something which is important, which is the crafting in this game, because yes, it is a survival game, and crafting is. You can see around my HP bar, you can see that this is a survival game. So when I use my energy, for example, when I'm sprinting, is using my energy. When I'm when I am hungry, I gotta eat food. When I'm thirsty, I gotta drink water. So you want to be focusing and doing the survival mechanic. If you don't, your character will be weaker, it will run slower, and it will eventually faint out, right? So you want to be doing this, you want to be feeding your character survival, but at the end of the day, you want to be crafting. So as you guys can see, this game has house building. All these houses around me, as you can see, I have the worst house because I am really bad at crafting and house building. But this house is nice. Look at that. This is one guy that built this house. He owns this. So you have all these bases that you can build, and in the base you're going to be doing crafting. Crafting is super important in the game. We got to go back to this memetics, and then in this you can unlock different type of crafting options that you can do, and you can build your house. And this is super important because crafting is a crucial part of the game. That's how you get most of your gear. That's how you get ammo. That's how you get food. That's how you get water. And crafting gets super complex over time, but eventually when you level up, it also helps you when it comes to your crafting. So for example, what I mean with that is, instead of manually going around at the start, you're going to be manually going around collecting water, and then you're going to go to the stove, and you're going to purify your water or boil your water to actually get drinkable water. Now later on, when you get higher level, you will start unlocking different things. So you will unlock the solar panels, which will generate power, and then with the power generator, you can build like a whole thing that automates, for example, water collecting for you. So this thing right here will collect water for you. And if I look at this right here, this is all the water that's been collected for me by me just being able to unlock it. So I don't have to worry about going around getting water anymore, right? Same with like fridge. When you get a fridge, you can put items in there so they don't go bad. But eventually, when you start leveling up, things starts getting automated for you. You can get like different items or craftable items that will make it easy for you to not collect wood anymore because it will make it for you, mine anymore because it will mine for you. And then this is cool too, like PalWorld, you have something called deviants. Now deviants can help you in combat. So for example, right now I'm using this deviant, and when I'm fighting, I can basically put this deviant on the ground right here, and then I can use this in PvP or whatever to block for me, so I can shoot and basically create cover for me. You have different type of deviants. Each deviant has different attributes, like this one can do damage, and then there's other deviants that helps you around in your house. So this one can help you mine and stuff. This can do different things for you. So you want to be collecting these deviants that will help you manage your house with crafting. So crafting overall, there's a progression to it. The more you level up, the more you grind, the crafting will become easier for you. But crafting is super important in the game, so you can craft everything you need. And of course, you'll have to craft your vehicles. And what's really cool about this in this game is vehicles are basically like your mount. So you can, your vehicle, it's not like a PUBG game where you can pick up vehicles around the world. You have your own vehicles that you craft. So I crafted this motorcycle which you can upgrade, and this basically works like your mount. So if I get off this bike, for example, I can replace it down here and nothing happens to it, right? So it has durability, it has fuel, but vehicles, that's basically how you get around most of the world, except like the flying crow. So crafting, again, super important to get most of the items. And then the last thing is monetization, the pay to win in this game. Now, there are rumors about, hey, will this game be pay to win? Will it not? Because when you start leveling up, you'll get access to this machine. Now, this machine gives you one of the best items in the game. It can give you legendary pants. So let's say I will draw, right? I have a chance to get basically legendary armor by rolling this gacha. However, the gacha, the items you get, or how to get the currency for the gacha, is doing events, and then you have something in your base, which is basically this thing. And in this thing, you can feed these items, the cortexes, and they will spawn waves of monsters they have to fight. And then when you beat them, you'll get currency for basically the machine. But it is a chance, right? Because this seems like, when I first saw it, I was like, yo, this might be pay to win. This might be how you can get better gear. Because again, like I said, this one can give you legendary gear and legendary recipes. But right now, what they're saying, or the devs are saying, is the game will not be pay to win at all. They're not going to add anything in the game that won't be pay to win, which I really hope they stay true to the word. Everybody, everywhere I've seen, all the people that are working on it have been saying the same thing. Right now, the only thing you can buy in this game will be costumes. It won't be pay to win options, but I can see in the future this game ending up pay to win if it doesn't perform well, because they have the ability to it for it, which is basically the gacha system. And there's a lot of stuff in this game, like with the crafting stuff, with the gear stuff. There's many options to become pay to win, but right now, no pay to win, which is awesome. So I really hope this game does well, so that more games will, respect the games being non-pay to win. But overall thoughts is I had a blast playing this game. It was way more fun than I thought it would be. It gives me a lot of MMORPG vibes about being a shooter game. Having the way you can travel around the world, the way you can talk to other players, the way you can join guilds, the way you can craft, build houses, crafting aspect of the game. The dungeons are super immersive. The storyline is super immersive. There's so many small things when it comes to the crafting, leveling up, gearing up, that makes this game feel very good and very polished. Now, there are some cons that I can see going forward in the game. There are some right now in this beta, so there's some mistranslations which aren't cool, which I don't like. Navigation system when you travel around the world isn't the best. However, I have to say the only thing I'm scared of, especially in PvE servers, are the end game dungeons, how they would do. Because the most of it is when you get to the end game, when you hit level 50, what are you going to do with your time, right? If there's not enough events, if there's not enough end game challenges when it comes to dungeons, the game might become boring and very repetitive. All you're doing every day is going around these certain areas to pick up chests and do these dungeons, which eventually, like I said, they're very immersive and fun, but I think that eventually they will get kind of boring. So hopefully they will focus a little bit around the end game of the game, especially in the PvE servers. The PvP servers will go work themselves, because it is PvP, right? You go and fight players, get stronger, become the top warband in the server. So the PvP servers, I'm not really afraid of when it comes to the end game, but I think that PvE servers might get kind of boring and repetitive eventually. But right now, the game is looking good. Let me know what you guys think about Once Human. Will you guys be checking out? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear you guys' opinion. Thank you so much for watching. Check out this video right here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.